All right, we'll open up the floor here in Columbus for questions for Brandon. Adam King, WBNS.
Brandon, what's it been like to watch yourself grow throughout this season and become a part of this offense and get ready to go when your number's called?
It's been amazing so far. Just going through last year, the last game, and seeing where I was at to now, it's been amazing. Get with Coach Hartline every week just to see everything I could do in the offense and help them in any way. It's been amazing, and yeah.
Nicole Sheeran, WBNS.
Brandon, after the Rose Bowl win, there were multiple videos of you guys calling Ryan the best coach in the nation, rallying around him. Just talk to me about how this whole team has rallied around your coach and you're not afraid to show it.
Yeah, to me, everything I said in that video is still true in my heart. Coach Day is the best coach in the nation. I mean, we come in here, we see what the work he puts in. He's here all day, every day, and to have a guy like that, you want to play for him, and Coach Day is like no other coach I've ever had in my life, and I appreciate him for the opportunity for me to come here.
Austin Ward, the podcast.
Brandon, I don't know how much time you have to get into this, but Emeka's value to the room, the leadership he shows, what has he meant to you? What does he mean to the whole group?
He means a lot to us. I mean, we come to him because he's so smart. I mean, Emeka's probably the smartest football player I've ever been around. So all of our, me and JJ and Carnell, we still ask some questions about certain things. And like even this past week in the game, there was a look I haven't seen yet because I haven't played a whole lot. And then just being able to ask him on the sideline and him to give me a response right away is huge for us.
We'll go Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, following up on that, Brandon, you had a couple of huge plays against Penn State. You know what I mean? You didn't start the game. You understand what I'm saying? But what is it like knowing there could be a moment, the next snap or whatever, where you've got to deliver, et cetera? I mean, what is that like, waiting your turn but then taking advantage of it?
Yeah, we call it competitive excellence, making a play when your number's called. And I feel like in them moments right there, I made the play. And I just got to continue doing that whenever I get my opportunity, get in the game, make a huge block, whatever it is, just make the play when your number's called.
Is that depth, you think, what sets y'all apart to a certain extent? I mean, not just depth, but guys ready to play for want of another term?
Yeah. If you see last game, it was kind of hot out there. So we haven't played a whole lot of heat in these past couple months. So we had some guys a little tired. So we had guys ready to go in, and that's just Coach Hartline developing his receivers and being ready for any moment.
Far left, Noah Weisskopf, the Lantern.
What impresses you most about Will, and just what's the confidence in you and knowing he's the one leading your team, leading the offense?
What impresses me most about Will is his leadership. Coming in from a guy from Kansas State, a transfer in year one, you wouldn't expect that guy to be a leader like how he is. I mean, he's an unbelievable leader, and we all lean on him. He runs this whole team, and he knows that, and we'll go as far as he goes.
Jeremy Birmingham, the podcast.
Brandon, we talked a little bit last week, just kind of you becoming one of the emotional leaders of this team. As you guys were walking off the field at halftime on Wednesday, I happened to be down there by the locker room. I was the only person taking photos of you guys down there, which is weird. But everyone looked super nice. You were up 34-8, and it looked like you guys were down by 26 points. Did you feel something different about the focus at that point of this team, or is it just an embodiment of what's going on right now, because it seemed different?
I just think the job wasn't done. We had nothing to be excited about at the moment. We were excited during the game when we were making the plays, but at that time, at halftime, you go back to 0-0. They scored at the end of the half. We knew they got the ball back. The defense wasn't quite happy that they gave up that touchdown at the end, and we knew they getting the ball back coming out, but we was excited because we knew the job wasn't done yet.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
You were a five-star guy, and all these guys in the room almost were five-star guys. And then there's Jeremiah. Does he like all you guys in the room?
I'm not sure. It's probably something you got to ask him, but Jeremiah's played with a lot of great guys throughout his career. He's seen a lot, all the talent you can see in the world, but I don't know if he's ever in awe. But
Are you in awe of him?
Oh, am I? Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised at anything he does now. Like I've seen him since we were 9 years old. So anything he does, any one-hand catch, I've seen. I'm not surprised at anything he does.
When he was 9,
Yeah.
did you know this is something special even at 9?
Oh yeah, I mean, coaches were coming up to us complaining that we weren't 9 years old. Like, can we get their IDs and stuff like that? So I mean, there's definitely some footage like we got to go find. But the plays we used to make when we were younger, just to see where he is now is amazing.
And yet he seems very unaffected by all of the stardom.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I think how he was raised. He's very level-headed. He knows his goals and what he wants to get done in life, and this is just one step of the way for him.
Gonna throw it back to Texas for a couple questions on Zoom. Scotty?
Yes, sir. We're going to start with Stefan from Cleveland.com. Go ahead.
Brandon, I want to go back to what you were talking about with Coach Day earlier. You know, whenever he talks about this team's success, he says all the credit goes to the players. It seems like the players think that he deserves some of the credit. How big, how influential has he been, you know, in the turnaround you guys have had these last few weeks?
He's been huge, man. Coming here after that Team on North loss, you know, it was heartbreaking, of course. But we came in here, we had a leadership meeting, and he was in here. I mean, and then we had a team meeting after that. Hearing the stuff he had to say and we had to say, going back and forth, we knew we would have his back no matter what. I mean, there's a lot of stuff said about him and his family and stuff like that. But and here we're a brotherhood and we're a family, and we gonna stand by him no matter what.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
Brandon, I mean, I'm sure you came in here to Ohio State thinking you'd probably be starting here in your second year, but it seems like you've really embraced the growth process. Just what's kind of that process been like for you of kind of embracing your role this season and continuing to develop?
Yeah, in life, things doesn't go the way you exactly planned it to, and that just didn't happen. You know, things happened to Mecca last year that allowed him to come back, and that allowed me to learn more, and that's just how I see it. It makes me a better football player for the future. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it.
3 more on Zoom. Next one's going to come from Stephen Means. Go ahead.
Steven, but
I'm sorry.
yeah, you're good. It's Brandon. There are a lot of clips of you this year where you're super excited after a block and kind of showing your emotion there. What about blocking do you love so much as a receiver?
Just being able to hit another guy with all my power as hard as I can, without getting any consequences, except if you hold, of course. But yeah, just bringing that power. I mean, I heard some of the defensive guys telling me yesterday, they was like, bro, I would hate to go against you. So knowing that from the defensive guys, so I know what the other defensive guys are thinking, like, just keep bringing it to them. They not going to like it for 4 quarters. That's my mindset.
Next question is going to come from Danny Davis. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. What are your impressions of these Texas defensive backs and just kind of what you've seen from them on film so far?
Yeah, the last couple of days we watched them. They're a fast team. They don't give up many big plays downfield. They're aggressive, but I actually know some of the DBs they have at corner there. I played with them. I played with Malik Muhammad at SFE, so I know him a little bit. And yeah, but watching them, they're a fast team. They're physical. They're disciplined. But we just got to get the job done.
Do you have any Malik stories or any?
I'm sorry.
Wait, what did he say?
Do you have any Malik stories or anything you remember about playing with him?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say them here. Yeah, we'll just keep that in.
Our final question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Kurt, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. One of the issues Texas has had the second half of the year is finishing. And I wonder if you can speak to, and they had a trouble, obviously, in the Peach Bowl, blew a 16-point lead. Can you talk about finishing and having a killer instinct? And you guys obviously seem to have that now.
Yeah, I think that started in the off-season training at fall camp. We always say go +2. you're doing a 10-yard pro shuttle, you have to go +2 throughout the line, and that's just finishing as well. And then fall camp, we had these long 2.5-hour practices or whatnot, and then we came out and we had to do these finishers, we call them, and that's for games late in the year like this. And I think Coach Day did a great job preparing all of us for these moments, and yeah, we're ready to go.
We have time for just a couple more questions in Columbus so we can wrap up with our other two guys. Bill Landis, Kings of the North.
Brandon, Trayvion's second touchdown run, it seemed like you took two players out of the play, first with your release and then with the guy you actually blocked. Is that how it's designed, or is it just did you get lucky that the guy decided to take off inside off the release?
It's actually designed for me to block the safety and leave the corner one-on-one with the running back. But I was surprised that the corner actually came in so far on my release. I think he thought it was a pass. But I think he was the edge of the defense if you go watch that play. But I don't know. I don't really know why he came in so far, but it helped out for us, and I made my block, and Trayvion scored.
Is there any lesson there for like even a young receiver watching that even if you know on the play you're not getting the ball, you're intended to block, but your release has to be on point, like as if you're going to go catch a pass?
Yeah, definitely. Every little detail matters in them type of plays. We were in a red zone there, so we say every yard matters. It's 2 yards. So the block I made is just a testament to Cal. Coach Hartline prepped me throughout the week to make that block. So yeah.
And final question, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Brandon, Will has been throwing the ball deep well lately, especially the way you guys have opened games. What do you think is clicked for you guys and for him in watching those plays?
A lot more confidence. I say throughout the year, we weren't always there as an offense. We didn't quite know our identity, and now slowly but surely, I think we found that, and we're going to keep on rolling. And he's made some great throws, and yeah.
I'm sorry, Brandon, I do have one more. Steve Hellwig, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, Brandon, there have been opportunities for you to play a huge role on offense, and the number of plays you play in a game can differ from one week to the next, but the opportunity is coming sooner rather than later for you to be an every down player. Just what are the things you need to do in your game to take it from where it is now to be an every down guy?
I think there's a lot of things I can work on in my game. I would say continuing to be football smart, my IQ, just knowing what the defense is going to do before they do it. My routes always can get better. My hands always can get better, staying in the jug machine. Work ethic, keep on top of it. Don't get satisfied with anything I do. And don't get too big, don't get too low. Don't get too high, don't get too low, that's what they say. So, yeah.
You feel like a guy that people follow, it seems like, just in your mind, even though just second-year guy, that you're kind of working toward being kind of a leadership type guy.
Yeah,
How important is that, to have guys that will take that role?
Yeah, it's a great feeling, of course, to know guys are watching what you do and listen to what you do. But I just feel like we do that with a lot of players here, and not just myself, but the leadership we have on this team is like no other, and that's why we got so far, I think.
Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.